So one of my viewers over at my Twitch channel wanted me to do a particular video. They want me to do a video on what makes for a good content creator program. What makes for a good relationship between a streamer and a development studio, or a YouTuber and a development studio. And truthfully, content creators exist because of people like you, the viewers that are watching this video right now. So this is going to be a very opinionated, op-ed, subjective video. If you disagree with anything I say, leave a comment below. Put a timestamp for the section of the video you disagree with so we can have a good discussion about it. Now, as fans of a video game, you're going to think to yourself, who should they get to review the game, talk about the game, cover the game? And really that answers the first question is, who is the target for membership in a content creator program? Now, a lot of people are going to think they should go after the big names. They should go after these guys. But the problem is, these people represent the top 0.1% of Twitch. Each person on the screen is their own brand. So they're not really interested in being a content creator because they're going to make the content that they want because people go to Twitch to see them as personalities. They don't need to be tied to a content creator program to see any amount of success. But that doesn't mean you ignore those people. They are the most important people to try to leverage. So how do you leverage the top 0.1%? And the thing is, you do developer interviews with them. You do side-by-side early gaming access between the creator and the developer. The reason you do this is it allows the creator to be heard, or at least believe they're being heard. This provides the developer with their subject matter expertise and feedback. Now, I don't care if you like those people on the screen, or you dislike them, or you don't like their takes, or you do like their takes. When you have an audience of 80,000 people, those 80,000 people look at you and say, we agree with your views of the game. We agree with your views of the genre. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't be watching. They would be watching somebody else. So to deny those people the opportunity to give feedback is where a lot of developers fail. The other thing is it makes the streamer feel like they're part of the process. And this is really important because if you ask a streamer for 10 suggestions and you get 10 good suggestions and you implement those suggestions, a content creator with any amount of integrity isn't going to then trash the game because the developer can turn right around and say, but you're trashing what we built with your input. The other thing is it gives the developer direct access to the audience of that content creator. There is a big difference between Steven Sharif said and quoting what he said and having Steven on the program and him speaking directly to the audience. The other way you leverage these creators is you want to do giveaways. And their giveaways, you want to do the big ticket items. These are the creators that you want to give access to alpha and beta because what it allows you to do is control the keys so that you can track the gameplay experience by the key you gave away. So what do I mean by that? You have your list of all the keys you're going to give away, and you give away keys that look like this. Now, this is all fictitious data, but it's just meant to prove a point. As you can see on the top of the keys we gave to Asmongold, there's a lot of PvE dungeon activity going on there. So we might want to weigh more heavily the PvE dungeon feedback we get from people with those keys. But you'll notice they didn't do any PvP activities. So we may want to discount those PvP activities, or we may want to ask follow-up questions to those key holders specifically. Why didn't you do PvP activities? Now you see the next person down, Co-Carnage, his group did a lot of open world PvP. They do PvP activities. You may want to weigh more heavily the PvP activity feedback. And then again, you could question that group as saying, what about our PvE activities weren't really engaging? So this is one way that the developer can kind of control where their keys are going and try to get better follow-up feedback. So organized data, better decision making, great thing to do with the larger creators. But now what about the small creators? What about the people that are actually going to be in your content creator program? Now, the first thing here is that it needs to be a symbiotic relationship. The medium-sized creators, they need support. The publisher needs consistent content that they can go to when they need a marketing piece of getting the game known, or they need an advertising piece because they want to try to drive sales. Now, where I've been a member of a lot of content creator programs in the past, and a piece I see that's a failure, is that companies often just throw codes at the creator. Now, creators need more than that. Creators that are struggling to grow, creators that are kind of lost in the wash, they need the company to leverage their social media. To give you just a real honest look at this, Intrepid Studios has a massive social media following on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. They're growing. There is something to be said if Intrepid grabs a piece I do and pushes it out. And let's just go through the process of how a content creator program looks and how it could be better. So a company gives me 10 codes. That's great. I have 10 Top Hat codes, something I have or a small group of people have, and this is good. But if you give me a nugget of exclusive info, that's better. Now, unfortunately, the way content creation works, all the big people find all the exclusive info given to the little people. They grab hold of it, they plagiarize it. It would be better if they didn't do that, but it is a cutthroat dog-eat-dog profession. So at least, hopefully, that smaller creator can get some sort of shot out, ride some coattails. Exclusive info drives people to content. So if you're the only person who gets it, even if you're a smaller creator and you get an interview, people will gravitate towards that content at a higher rate so they can share in that. If you give me a retweet, that is great. I am absolutely not going to look a retweet, gift horse in the mouth. But that's you leveraging your social media in the most basic way to help me. What if a company actually wanted to do something better than a retweet? What if they sent an organic tweet and tell people why to look at that content? Hey, Jahlon just made a comparative video between PvP themes and PvP flagging. We think you should go check this one out because there's been a lot of confusion. That's a massive push to a creator. That helps them more than the codes ever will. Every creator wants to get into a CC program. I get this. But too many companies invite everyone. And then you water down the value of the codes you give out. You fill the space with a lot of noise. You devalue the relationship and people leave your creator program. It ends up with the same broken system we've seen time and time again with Trion's creator program for ArcAge and Atlas Reactor, what they tried to do with Bless Unleashed, what they tried to do with Elyon, it just didn't work. If you have 10 creators in your program and you give each of them 10 codes, that means 100 people can get this shiny thing. And that drives people to those 10 creators. Creators thrive on your codes now because each code is 1% of the total available. It sends people to your YouTube, it sends people to your Twitch, your Twitter, whatever you're making content on, it sends people there. But what a lot of companies do is they'll have 1,000 creators in their program and they give each of them 10 codes. So now 10,000 people can get this shiny thing and the value of each code has gone down. You are watering down the value of what you're giving me, which breaks the symbiotic relationship. I no longer rely on you. I might now start making more than just Ashes of Creation content. I might start making multiple game content. Devs rely on the content creators. That's how they get their marketing pushes, their advertising push, the word on the street. Content creators bring people into games. The big guys do it, but if the big guys can make more money going somewhere else, most of them, not all, will go where they can make more money. You need to have that middle group of people working for you. You don't need every single content creator in your program either. And this is where I know some of the smaller creators are going to hate me. I'm going to get some backlash for this. I'm going to get some downvotes, but just hear me out. A small creator has 500 followers. There's 4 other creators that each have 500 followers. This makes you think that there's 2,500 followers to the game total. The problem with this is that they're probably not all unique audiences. Smaller creators tend to share their audiences with other smaller creators. So really, when you're looking at it, you have a lot of overlap between those people. Also, when you have these 500 small unique audiences, there is probably a larger creator that has most, if not all of that audience in their audience already. So as much as I want to say inviting all the 100 follower, 92 view creators into your program is nice, I think I've already established why doing that waters down the relationship. The target metric for creators, though, is something I want to talk about. A lot of companies set this arbitrary, you have to have 5,000 followers on YouTube, you got to have 10,000 followers on Twitch. These aren't the metrics you want. You want to talk about how many views they're getting, not how many subs. 5,000 YouTube subs doesn't mean anything. Views are a better grade or a better gauge of the quality that content creator is putting out. It's also a better gauge of the response, the value of what you're getting by putting your weight behind that creator. Comments and engagement are even better. You can have a content creator that's getting a low amount of views, but they're generating an awful lot of comments, poll responses. This gives the developer somewhere they can go to kind of get that word on the street. How do people feel? You can ask your creator for metrics that aren't visibly available, such as what's the click-through rate on your thumbnails? What is the comments per video you're getting? What is your viewer retention? One thing a lot of people don't understand about YouTube is it's great if a video has, say, 40,000 views, but if 90% of the viewers have left by the 60-second mark, how much value is there in the other 90% of the video if nobody's actually watching it? And these are all things then that the studio can do and give feedback to that creator and say, let's help you on making better thumbnails. Let's help you on cutting out all the waste at the beginning of the video. Another thing you can do is for Twitch, it's the same thing. You want to talk about how many viewers they have, not how many followers. You can ask that creator for similar metrics. How many unique views do you get per stream? How many unique chatters do you get? How many minutes watched? You might have somebody that only gets 100 simultaneous viewers, but each one of those viewers is there for 4 hours. That person is putting out a lot of content. It's a lot of content that's being digested. And then maybe that's the creator you go to and you give them some advice, or you send people there. Say, this is a really good program. You should go watch it. You can also talk about the chat messages sent, how much dialogue is being generated by this creator. Only the big channels get in. That's not what I'm saying at all. No, there are places where there are niche channels, brands, products that should absolutely get into your content creator program. For Ashes of Creation, the wiki and the Ashes post, absolutely. Put those products into your content creator program. Cosplayers, RP groups. If you have people that are making really, really good costumes, they're going to have a very niche audience. But if you're getting people taking things like the mushroom hat that's back there and turning it into a tangible item, there are going to be people that might come to your game for that RP quality, and you want creators that make that style of content. Bloggers, you may find it odd, but there are still an awful lot of people who read video game bloggers. So you may want to grab the top 1 or top 2 bloggers and put them in your content creator program, especially if they're doing daily or several times a week blogs about your game. And then lore and storytellers. I can't stress this enough. There are certain people who have amazing narrator voices, and their channels never really grab hold. Their channels never really take off. A company that wants to build a following for the lore of their game, that's the people. They need to get a couple of them into their content creator program as well. Markets that nobody else is hitting is what you're aiming for. And also, you can give different rewards for these groups so that it drives specific traffic to these groups and not take away anything for your more traditional gameplay streamer, gameplay video maker. Everyone else? Sure, if you want in now, but you want in a good program. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're a small creator, you don't want to feel bad that I just said you shouldn't get into the program. You want to wait until, you grow your brand. This is the motivation you need to grow your brand. You need to try harder. You need to learn more. You need to grow to an attractive or an appealing size so that Intrepid or another game developer says, yeah, absolutely, we want you in our program. And with that said, guys, this again is an op-ed piece that I did. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on Twitch. I'm usually over here on YouTube live streaming on some of my other days. That's my new plan. I know it's an op-ed piece, and I know I probably offended a lot of people. It wasn't my intention. My intention was to start a good dialogue, both so that Intrepid Studios could maybe open a dialogue with its creators and say, what do you think? Do you think Jay is right? It's also one for the small creators so that I can show you, if you want everybody invited into the program because you think it's going to help you grow, that's probably not going to help you grow at all. That's probably going to just be a watered down program that doesn't help you in the slightest. With that said, that guy down there wearing a top hat, very sexy guy down there. It's the start of the Christmas music season. I have 50 Christmas tracks over on PGN Music between PGN on YouTube, PGN on Spotify, pgnmusic.com, which is our website, 50 Christmas tracks. So if it's too early for you, plug your ears. If it's not, if 1 November starts your holiday music season, it's available for you there. I will see you guys next time when I'm live on Twitch or when somebody spends 50,000 channel points to get me to make another one of these videos.